Usually people want to assume that all CEOs are over-learned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time around. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question I think to answer. I am a typical Lao man from Erute North, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lago south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down the south after Karuma, I think I'm number one.
Wow. Well, now that you know Tony Otoa is Ugandan, and of course, what are the values that define you as a Ugandan?
I think it's the love for country, love for nation. You know, truth be told, the country is in a lot of, it's a crisis. Leadership crisis, economic crisis, social crisis. There's so many mismatching areas. But at the end of the day, it's home. You know, you cannot run and abandon your home because of the issues in your home. I think that then creates an opportunity for you to do something to change what's happening and what you see as a crisis. So in terms of what I see as a value, or what I take out of that for me, I think is just the love for country, the need to serve country the best way I can. And I mean, I can't say I can change everything, but the little I can do to create a difference, I think is more meaningful.
Wow. Mr. Tony Otoa, growing up, what did you want to be in life? And what was the journey like for Mr. Otoa?
Yeah, you know, my father is crazy. My father would call us and he would show me the compass. The idea was supposed to be a pilot. You know, the planes would fly over our house and my father would be like, yeah, you're going to be a pilot. But of course, as you grow, you realize that you have so many things that really define you. I was never a sportsman. So I enjoyed a lot of debate and, you know, a lot of indoor activities. And that is, I think, what really drove me into some of the things that I do up to today. Public speaking, the love for debates and really a lot of intellectual discourse and all this stuff. But besides that, I think it's also the fact that I won't lie. I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Welcome back from that break. This is the CEO Bench. My name is Eddie Okila, and in the studio is Mr. Bedford Buyungo, who is a Pan-Africanist, a man who thinks beyond the boundaries of Uganda, as well as an entrepreneur. And he is the founder and CEO of, Saint Africa, as well as the African Voyage, which is his other company making the boat here in Uganda, as well as the man who thinks for other businesses. At the moment, he's a consultant of the government of, Liberia, and of course, as many, he's a man who speaks directly to Professor Lumumba and helping him on many other things that we know. Welcome back to the show, Bedford. I wanted to take from point number 7.
Yeah. So, our point number 7.
Yes.
Allow me to complete that.
Please go from 6, actually. Yes.
Which was, this is very key to my heart. It's very important because I managed to see myself differently. And then I didn't see myself as a creative director, in advertising. So I would want to really extend help to the people who see, who are graphic designers, and probably see themselves at that point and they don't see anything beyond. For me, it's simple. Seeing the art talent that you have as a business. You get what I mean?
Seeing the art talent you have as a business, not as just a mere design.
As a craft that you're going to meet someone's need. So, in fact, Jay-Z has a very, a line that he put in one of his songs. He said, I'm not a businessman. I'm a business, man. So he's not a businessman. Get busy.
Business. He'll get busy all the time.
He's a business himself.
Business
so
himself.
see yourself as a business.
Yes.
And treat yourself as a business.
Yes. Wow.
You got what I mean? If
Yeah.
you treat yourself as a business, that graphic designer, that art director, creative director, you will slightly see things differently.
Wow.
Because you are a business. So that means that if you are a business, then you need someone to take care of that business. So a business is handled in a different way.
Yeah.
So that helped me. Of course, I moved to creative, learned, picked up the skill of research and development, which probably was something that actually has gotten me to meet many people, because that's one of the major needs right now in Africa. People need to create from scratch and then bring these things to life and to the shelf. So I'll go to the point number 7, which says be careful who you spend your time with.
Wow.
These are very simple things that we wrote, and we think I would love to use big words, but let me use things that people will understand. And be careful of who you spend your time with. Yes, I can spend my time with anyone, but there are people who speak to me, and there are also people I speak to. There is a need as a business, this Bedford. I'm a business. You get?
Not a businessman, but I'm first a business and then a man.
So a business has needs of education. A business has human resource needs. It needs many things. So when I realized that I needed a certain type of inspiration, I needed a certain type of people, I looked for them. And one of them is Professor Lumumba.
Wow.
So Professor Lumumba enhanced the Pan-Africanism in me. And he splits it. He treats me like his son. I called him this morning when we were coming here. I told him, Professor, there is A, B, and C, and he was like, okay, maneuver like this. Oh, how are you, son? How's Uganda? I'm reading news, and so it encourages.
Seeing a situation which doesn't look good,
So Professor Lumumba enhances that bit, and then, of course, many other things I wouldn't say on the show. So I looked for guys that can help me get to the next level. So I looked for Michael Jackson's vocal trainer since 1987-2011.
Wow.
Dorian Holley. So I looked for Dorian Holley, not for anything else, because there's nothing he can give me that probably he didn't need anything from me. But I looked for him because I had something I'm looking for, and that was the spirit of excellence. For you to have worked and trained Michael Jackson how to sing, and trained his backup singers
to match the kind of singing that he was looking for, the sound and the voice that he was looking for,
and then performed in big arenas. Basically, you're working with the best entertainer ever lived on earth. There was something special that probably people didn't see in Dorian Holley. He's not that famous. He was the lead backup vocalist, and at the same time he was a vocal trainer, and he's done everything in singing. And I was like, I'm not a singer, but I need the spirit of excellence from this man. I looked for him and I got him, and he started mentoring me. Not like we are sitting down, and by talking to him, anytime I get the opportunity, he tells me things. I ask him about, how MJ, all those things. And he breathes in me the spirit of excellence, because you can't work with MJ and you're not excellent. So the point was, mind who you work with. I'm not saying that we won't work with the people we are better than. In fact, we should work with them, and they should benefit from us. But can they get anything beneficial from the well that is empty? Means the well needs to be fed with a stream of life, with a stream of water, and then others can draw from it. So it's two-way. There's people you need to learn from, and there's people who need to learn from you. Guess what? the people who want to learn from you, it's like a bee being attracted by a flower. But the people who need to, who you need to learn from, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and look for them. Because even them are
fit in their schedule.
And fit in their schedule.
Because one of the things is looking for them and you don't fit in their schedule, so you will never work together.
Yeah, I'll give you a trick, is to be relevant. If you're Killer Sports Fitness, offer them probably a free gig. Let them come and exercise. Because they are spending some money, they'll give you much more value than probably
and the little money they will give you at that point.
$100 per month.
Wow.
So to me, when I'm doing business, I split things into two. I have people who give me value, and then I have people who I get money from. So I don't see everything through the eyes of money. There is a value that is that's the foundation for all the money you want. You get what I mean? So it means that if I have Dorian Holy, anyone in that world is a phone call away. You get what I mean? If I have Professor Lumumba, everyone in that world is a phone call away. If I'm a friend to the Vice President of Liberia, Her Excellency Joel Taylor, and I speak to her the way I speak to Okila, it means I'm a phone call away. The thing is, I need to have something, I need a meeting. But you need that connection, and this is the time to make the connections. Because people are less busy, people are receptive, people are listening, they're looking for answers. It could be you that's providing those answers. So I'll go to the next point. Is to
this is point number 8.
It's linked to even some points we talked about. Is to learn something new. Someone will ask, you're talking about research and development. Someone will ask, you're talking about human resource. Where did you learn those things? I promise you, I won't lie, I didn't go to school to learn those things. Ask Elon Musk where he went and learned. You can go and ask Zuckerberg where he learned. And in fact, most of them will tell you that school or dropouts. It doesn't mean that when they dropped out of school, they started eating mangoes.
I mean, Amos Wekesa said it himself. Amos Wekesa says, I dropped out of school, but how many of us are consulting from Mr. Amos Wekesa as a tourism entrepreneur right now in Uganda and in Africa? And I think that there are probably bigger, tourism companies in Uganda, bigger than Great Lake Safaris. But the first thought when you think about travel is Wekesa, because it's been in everybody's faces and has been able to at the forefront of everything. But over to you.
So when people drop out of school, and I'm not saying people should drop out of school, it doesn't mean go and eat mangoes, relax. It means, in fact, dropping out of school puts even a bigger burden for you to learn, because you've comfortably or even negatively put yourself out of the measuring yard. You get what I mean? Because a degree
used to,
a degree measures you. It says you've studied 19 years from kindergarten to university. We award you the degree in such and such. It means you're graded. There's certain expectation of a degree holder, master holder, even a PhD. I'm just appealing to our viewers to humbly, even if you have a degree, learn something new and get out of the grading system. When you get out of the grading system, it means that you're going on a highway that probably you don't even know where it's leading, but it's going to be much faster.
And there are going to be a lot more accidents on the way, because the highway is very attractive to speed. And sometimes some people step on that pedal and say, yo, come on, man, let's kick these things. And they enjoy. And along the way, they forget that the highway always have the sharp corners,
Yeah.
And you know, in some areas where they say slow down, their arms ahead,
Yeah.
and then they forget and they hit the arms and the car flies off. They lose, you know,
Yeah.
you know, it's part of the car. Or if you're on a border motorcycle, you will fall down, you break a leg, you get up.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the things they're talking about.
I'm talking about those.
Yes.
But when you go to the highway
Yes.
and you maneuver sharp corner,
Yeah.
you'll be the master of the sharp corners if
Wow.
you survive.
Wow.
So, while you're seated at home, Google human resource, you know, strategies, and as an artist, as an accountant, and then when the 42 days is done, put up a presentation to your CEO and tell them, I can be your CEO, your accountant, but I can also be the assistant human resource. And these are the strategies that will take us through. There's human resource, there's many things that different companies need.
Yeah.
You study because you work there and you learn.
Yeah.
No one is going to come and give you that degree.
Yeah.
But I promise you that when you present and it works, that degree is going to come in form of cash.
Yeah.
You'll never lack that.
Wow.
It might not come soon,
Yeah.
but when it comes, it will surely come.
Yes.
This is the time. You can, there's people who want to travel, say they just can't fit in this system here in Uganda.
Yeah.
I give them the advice, get some little money and study a course from that very country you want to go to. Probably when you apply for their visas and you've studied there even virtually, you'll be one of the guys to be considered. It's always that you need to look forward and then start moving, you know, towards that direction. So my 9th point is invest in your business.
Yeah.
There's many ways you invest in your business. People are going to say we don't have money, we spent all the savings. But I see people online. I've hardly seen anyone say because of the pandemic they are not online.
And they are not eating also.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
So how they're eating, even their businesses need to eat.
Yes.
Investing in business is something, is a homework I give to our viewers. How do I invest in my business? You invest in, of course, the physical, then the virtual things you can't see. Invest in your staff by Googling and sending them things. Get some time and invest. I stress human resource because that's the camel we talked about that will take us through the desert. Invest in those people. Actually, they are the business.
Wow. Bedford, I want to just interject there a little bit. A lot of time, just on the point number 9, a lot of time we looked into more about numbers.
Yes.
And I have been on a journey where people keep saying, numbers, we want to see big numbers, we want to see big numbers. I mean, how are you going to compete with these guys? How are you going to compete with these guys? You're supposed to compete with these guys. And the question of numbers have always been such a big problem. Yet, when I look deep down from my studies, I realize that every single thing that we have talked about on this show today is predicated on the fact that somebody was thinking.
Yeah.
And they thought about the process.
Yes.
And they looked through the corners of their thinking processes and said, I think this is going to work. And they never looked at it from a one-dimensional point of view.
Yes.
But probably looked at it from a 3-dimensional point of view.
Yes.
And I draw my wisdom and understanding and thinking from this part when this story is talking about a man who was trying to go to another city, and he said, I must go through Samaria. And the people, you heard about 12 men around him, and this guy says, you must be really crazy, man. You can't go through Samaria. We don't even mix with those people. We don't touch there. That's not a no-go area. We don't mix with those fellows.
Yeah.
Just the attitude of these people, he kept quiet, he didn't say a word.
Yeah.
But they set course to the journey where they were going.
Yeah.
And he said, must go through Samaria, which means they were going to a different destination altogether. And unfortunately, that destination is given to us.
Yes.
But what I learned from him is that when he said so, it is accounted for that he reached a certain place where he was thirsty.
Yes.
And he stopped and says, I'm hungry, I need some water. And then he sent all the 12 men to go and buy meat. So I kept asking myself, so send all the 12 men to go and buy meat. And then they came back and found a different story altogether. Bedford, I want to just put this to you. He had 12 men, but one man reached the entire city and took control of everything that we're looking for.
Yes.
And the question is, does the numbers really matter at the beginning? Should we look at the numbers at the beginning? Because one of the people who nominated you for the program said when he started the company in 2019, he had a good number of customers.
Yes.
But in 2020, when the pandemic came,
yes,
by the time he was coming out of the lockdown, out of the 12, clients that had signed in, 6 of them were very good paying customers according to him. 3 of them cut off and he remained with 2, and eventually at some point he remained with 1. And now he has only 1.
Yes.
And he doesn't know how to grow the numbers back, and he's very afraid that the numbers have gone, so the revenue has gone down. And I keep saying, everywhere he goes, they tell him, but your company has only 1 customer. What if this customer terminates you? Is not the end of you? So they look at his portfolio and say, we need your portfolio. At least we should see like the 10 companies you've worked for, 20 companies you've worked for. So the question of numbers have always remained a very serious thing. I want to go back to you and ask you, how do we navigate the path of numbers? Must everything start with numbers, or it can start with you? I mean, based on the story of the man I told you, the story is different. When the guys came back with food, they found when he said, I have need to eat that you know not of. And I got confused, said, but you were hungry, sent for food, then now you don't want to eat. What's the problem?
Yes.
But he had such a big number. He said that when he spoke to a certain woman, the entire city came to him.
Yes.
But it started with 1 woman.
Yes.
And yet he had 12 men who didn't understand.
Yes.
The question of numbers for business people are usually such a big problem. Even on this show, some people will say, but you don't have numbers. The numbers are not showing very big. But when I go into the background, the numbers are so huge.
Yes.
There's an algorithm somewhere that gives me the numbers of people from all over the world. I know who is watching you now. I know which country, which geographical location, what they're using. Are they using the mobile phone or they're using the computers? And I noticed that 68% of the people who actually follow the CEO bench is on their mobile phone.
Okay, that's great.
And 80% of them are women.
Wow, amazing.
And they spend 80%, in fact 63% are women, and they spend 80% total time watching the program.
Yes, yes, yes.
But yet, when you look at it from here, the number looks very small. How do you justify that? And how do you tell a person who is being told of the numbers now not making sense?
No, numbers is very important. As a strategist, as a marketer, research and development, everything I do that through numbers. I always have my big calculator on my desk. And that is what makes me different from probably other people. And I took my learning when I was under, when I decided to learn from Mr. Simpson Birungi, the chairman of Movit. That guy is a genius. We should invite him here. He's a guy who knows numbers, not your very hard numbers. How to multiply, how to divide, how to add. You can't say you're trying to market and you don't know how the turnover is going to be like. You don't know how to project. So numbers are very important. It's probably the reason we are in business. Because the more numbers I have, the more consumers I have, the more me as a Pan-Africanist, if I have, I can make sure we sell, say, 10 tons per week of Ugandan coffee abroad. It means more jobs. It means everything. It's numbers.
But can you start when you are starting from scratch, based on the story of my man there? I mean, everybody seems to be saying I need numbers now, but you can't have numbers at the beginning, such huge numbers at the
Definitely. Numbers, I'm speaking it from a vision point. You need to have a picture of what you want, and then you get there. I'll use an analogy. I love using analogies because it helps people understand better. If I want to be a pilot, what business am I doing in Qatar with bike sellers? What business do I have to do with them? It means probably I need to hang around Uganda Airlines, I need to sit with pilots. You meet them, and then they'll enhance your thinking, they'll tell you things you didn't know, and probably you'll gauge and say, I'd be a pilot or I'm not a pilot. This is not my thing, according to the explanation. The knowledge is there free. People give it to you free of charge. When I started working as a consultant at the airline, I started seeing pilots the same way I see you. Not the same way I used to see them. I used to see, because they fly things in the sky, they must be angels. They're human beings like you and me. And then when you ask them, they'll tell you, you know, it needs 100,000 to fly Boeing to and fro. And then you calculate, okay, if I want to buy a private jet, does it fit in? You get what I mean? So numbers from a point of vision. And then you start working towards it. Numbers guide me a lot when I'm doing strategies. Because they show you, they measure, they help you measure that you're not doing well. I'll throw some numbers at you, and I know it's going to cause you to think. Monaco has 37,000 people.
This is the city of Monaco. Monaco has the country.
37 people. 37,000 people. These people have a GDP per capita of 186,000 USD. You get that? Per capita of 186,000. So when I calculated in Uganda shillings how much money the average guy gets per month in Monaco, it's 56,000. No, million.
Oh, $56 million.
No, 56, Uganda
shillings. Oh, 56 million Uganda shillings. Okay.
That's earning for a top CEO in Uganda. The other side, it is what is the basic, what every human being in Monaco earns. There are only 37,000. So it's a game of numbers. Numbers from the point of human resource. If 37 million can have 37,000 people can have an economy that gets the basic guy to get 56 million Uganda shillings, then on the side of people who think that you need a bigger human resource to create that, it has proved you wrong already, because fewer people have a bigger economy. So you come back to Uganda, where you have 45, let's say, million people, whose GDP per capita is 860,000. No, 860 USD. So when you put it in Uganda shillings, the average guy in Uganda gets like 120,000 per month. And you know that's the money you pay your maids. Or people, many people, that's the money they pay. So the guys who calculate GDP are not just talking, you know, GDP per capita are not just talking things from the air. They really sit down and calculate, and it makes sense for me. So I'm like, that's when I started Monaco, it gave me courage that I don't need 100,000 people to make Africa better. You need just a few thousands to look in the right direction, very inspired, very knowledgeable, to get the continent forward. That's numbers.
Wow.
You get what I mean? But also I kind of was like, for example, the other day President Museveni gave an example of Walmart having a bigger economy than that of East Africa. When I know you've been to Nairobi. Nairobi is such a big city, big economy, almost the third on the continent. Very thriving. But when you mirror it against the Walmart economy, it's cartoon.
It's not even there. It doesn't suffice. It's not closed.
Because East Africa has about 7 countries, isn't it? 6 to 7
6
countries.
now.
6.
So it's Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan that is coming. 6.
6 economies can't do better than just one store, one supermarket.
Yes.
So that's numbers. It helps you put things in perspective.
Yeah.
Makes you know that you're not doing well.
Yeah.
Because that's the measure.
Yeah.
And then you start moving forward.
Yes.
So it's not numbers that I need numbers today, because for you to be relevant to the numbers is to have something to provide to the numbers.
Yes.
And I encourage all businessmen, all artists, all marketers to always think about numbers.
Yes.
So Walmart, for example, their turnover is 559 billion USD.
Yeah.
The turnover of East Africa, or GDP, is 193 billion
dollars.
6 countries against
one supermarket.
So against one supermarket
yes.
in some part of the world.
Yeah.
So Walmart employs about 1.5 million people in every store.
Yeah.
You can imagine the population of East Africa. So you have 1.5 million people against 80 million people or plus, against 120 million plus.
Yeah.
So 1.5 million people are able to do bigger things than 120 million people.
Yeah.
Numbers help you to put things in perspective, and then you start moving forward.
Bedford, thank you so much. I want you to go to point number 10 as we close up. Our time is fast spent, but I want to say thank you very much. Mugamba Robert said great conversation, and I think he's enjoying the conversation and the numbers. Thank you very much, Mugamba Robert, as well as my friends from Rwanda, Burundi. Thank you very much. They said we're enjoying the interview. I've seen comments coming from guys who follow you in Nairobi saying thank you very much for having the gentleman on the show. How old is he? They are asking how old are you to have these great insights about the stuff that we're talking about here. The CEO Bench is about leadership, change management, and transformation. And all we've been talking about here, from the votes that came in, the 30 votes that came in, we wanted Bedford Buyungo to come back to the program and give some nuggets of truth about how we can help our struggling businesses. This is from the Private Entrepreneurs Corner, and of course I think that he's been able to give that, coming from the background of a brand developer, product developer, marketer, an advertiser, and an entrepreneur, and a Pan-Africanist, thinking at a different level altogether. Bedford, if you're picking up from point number 10 as we close.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm enjoying the viewers' comments as well.
Yes.
I'm 43 years in August.
Wow.
So I was born in 1978.
Yeah.
And yes, I know I probably look old.
Yeah.
But in a different part of the world, my age, you're very old.
Yeah.
Being that.
Yeah.
In this part of the world,
You're just starting.
We're just starting.
In fact, we make money when we're 40 plus. They said we start to become serious at 45.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't live a very healthy life to see us enjoy that, because at 40 we are dying. I mean, how many of our colleagues have died at 40?
Yeah.
Because they are not living a very healthy life and a fit life to be able to enjoy the start of this process of the journey.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I'm trying to do in many of my thinking right now is to turn my skills and my training of health and fitness to be able to make other people become successful.
Yes.
And I believe that if I make them become successful in being healthy and fit, I will make money off all my life. The reason being, if they are successful, they will always not forget the water that, the hand that was feeding them.
Definitely.
I mean, if I train 1,000 people, give information to 1,000 people, I'm hoping that maybe about 500 will come back. The other 500 will throw me off balance.
No, the 500 will come.
Yeah, but there's a 500 people who are going to come. So yes, you're right when you say the age. And until we need to pick up from the health and fitness point of view as, CEOs and entrepreneurs at your level you've reached, to be able to think serious. Guys, health and fitness is key, and I think that COVID-19 is helping us settle the boat, the balances, checking us there and right and left and center. that you are home. By the time you're coming back from the 42 days, you probably put on so much weight, you know, the anxiety has kicked in. You cannot think very well for your business because you are unfit and unhealthy at the same time. And that means that your productivity, like Bedford said, in the other part of the world, 43, they are retiring. You know, in this part of the world, 43, we are starting and yet we are dying. So we have not started, we are not even not there.
Yeah.
Unless we're able to work our way stronger and more fitter. But over to you, Bedford. Sorry, I had to interject with that point because you touched something quite very important in this discussion.
No, that's very important.
Yeah.
There is something I call the fast tracking of the African mind.
Yes.
And that's what we need.
Yeah.
In the area of health, in the area we need to fast track our thinking.
Yes.
And if you were miseducated for 19 years, you need to unload the 19 years fast. And then retape.
Yes.
If it was, you know, like the video recording, and retape new knowledge.
Yes.
And then get on the faster lane we talked about,
and
then run.
Yes.
If it's a race, 100 meters dash, and you're against Usain Bolt and all that, just know that Usain Bolt, Tyson Gay, they are at the 50-meter mark, and you're on the 0 mark. Appreciate it that way. That's how we started. That you need to appreciate that you are locked down for 42 days, but the other world is moving, and they are much more better than you. They have system, they have addresses, which mean everything. They have social security, they have everything, and you are at the 0 mark trying to
catch up with them.
So my 10th point is find someone to mentor you. My 11th point, I guess, find someone to mentor you. I touched about it a little bit, but let me stress it out that we need to find someone.
That is actually point number 10. We wrapped up 10 and 11. Yes, you said you put 11 points. Yes.
We need you need to find someone to mentor you in the area of health. If that's the need you have, you in the area of business. Like I have a few mentors, and I treat them like fathers. I told you the guy who taught me how to calculate, how to use the calculator was someone who even has no degree. But I appreciated his touch. I mirrored him against people who have degrees and economists, and I'm like, I'm going with this guy who employs 3,000 people, pays them every 2 weeks on time.
And runs the company that supplies East Africa, and now I think it's Africa.
He's in 9 countries. I'm like, this guy, he has to be my mentor in the area of finance, in the area of numbers. So occasionally I check on him. Even yesterday I sent him, MZ, I hope you're well. And he said, yes, I'm good. How about you? I said, I'm good. So in the area of spirituality, I have my mentor. In the area of excellence, I have the Michael Jackson guy. You know, he's 64. Dorian Hall is 64. He's retired. He's still, you know what I mean? But I'm making use of him. And guess what? If Michael Jackson paid him, he's giving me free knowledge.
Wow.
I have Professor Lumumba, because that is the direction I'm taking. As a Pan-Africanist, I need a Pan-Africanist who can easily introduce me to people. I need a Pan-Africanist who tells me, I think you're going on the wrong trajectory. I think this is it. We need Pan-Africanists who don't just talkers but doers. So that's what Professor Lumumba tells me. So occasionally, I think for you to hire Professor Lumumba to speak, you'd have to pay 6,000 USDs. He gives me that knowledge for free. You get what I mean? Of course, a mentor will have to appreciate your hunger and then start, you know,
feed the anger.
But these are people who've done things, and I'm saying they are not leaving me behind. I'm going with them. Let me go under Kameme, but I'll reach. Eventually, I'll be able also to mentor others.
Wow. Let's go to point number 11 as we close the show.
Of course, point number 11 is learning from experience. We had the first pandemic, and if we didn't learn anything, the second pandemic is clearly telling us that the world is on reset.
If
you think that you're going to open up a shop, a cloth shop, and sell the way you used to sell before COVID, then it's like you're waiting for the ship at the airport.
Wow.
Things have changed.
Wow.
Things are very virtual.
Yeah.
If you think that your human resource staff is going to be able to work the way they used to work, then you're wrong, because these people, while at home, they've been introduced to many other things. Some of them are learning new skills. So if you view them the way you used to view them before, it's like waiting or winking at a woman in the dark.
Wow.
You better stand and appreciate that things have changed. Take stock.
Wow.
Sit down with a paper and pen and say human resource. Plot it and say things have changed. Interview your staff. You know, ask them what they want to be in 5 years. I promise you they'll tell you different things. They've learned things. Some of them know what is working and what is not working. So I want to thank you for the opportunity of hosting me here. For the viewers who who've been watching us, the people who nominated me, and I want to tell them that or give them encouragement. I shouldn't give. They should still have hope that things are going to be better, and they should look north. And of course, if they are spiritual, God will come to our rescue. And but God has to find us doing something. They need to learn. They need to have their visions clearly written, because that will help the posture they're going to take. And also to remind them that we as research and development fellows are constantly coming up with ideas of how to make things better. For example, we are going to have the cheapest mortgage in the world. And you and I are going to work on that. We'll have the cheapest mortgage in the world. Housing is going to be
something that has never been discussed before, something has never been thought about before.
Definitely.
Something that people have never even thought about in their wildest imagination.
Yeah, housing is going to be a human right. We're going to make it here in Uganda. You and I and our team, we're going to make it happen. It's not going to be that for you to own a house, you've succeeded. That will be the foundation and not the limit.
Wow.
To your success.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Well, Bedford, thank you so much for coming to the CEO Bench today. I would like to say we are really extremely humbled to have you back on the show today. And I think that those who have nominated you have not gotten anything short than their expectations were at the beginning, and that informed their decision to nominate you to come back to the show. And to everyone out there, thank you very much for being part of the show. I would like to say thank you, and we're looking forward to having you anytime we have the vote. The CEO Bench is purely about the vote. You see the person, you don't understand them, but you hear about them and you want them to come. We created this platform so that they can come and share their ideas. 1 hour and a half of them sharing their ideas, sharing their thoughts, and of course their experiences in the area of leadership, change management, and transformation. Until then, we want to say thank you and keep it the CEO Bench. Like Bedford Buyunga said, we're working on something. Again, don't wink on that woman in the dark. As the pandemic comes, that's a learning for today. As you come out the 42 days, please put the light, put the glasses, and see the beauty of that human being called the business that God had placed before you. And like you said, you have to make sure that you don't wait for God to find you when you are seated. Rather, God should find you when you're walking. Until then, keep it the CEO Bench. Bedford Buyungo, Ed Your Killer, signing out.
It was like the Psalms. When you look at David, he's passing through hard things, but then he's willing to talk about them. So music allowed me to be real, authentic. To God, he uses song to minister to me. So it was more, it's personal, I can relate to it, and he's helping me overcome through that, to be able to be used as that vessel that delivers this message, which I know that I've just borrowed from heaven.
Cast down for my soul. Why don't you hold
My music statement is to write music that will be able to speak to the heart, soul, and spirit, restoring the goodness. You know, when in the Bible it says, and he looked at it and it was good. The message that I have, there are 10 songs. They will be specifically invoking that God has already said, that we have to embrace as his image, to restore goodness in this world. Music is not what defines you. For me, that was a great revelation, that my identity is more in God, in who God calls me. If I can inspire you also to use your gifts and talents to make a difference, I would have played my part in this world.
I will rise and rise. Now is the time. Rise and praise you, Lord.
People at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
People at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
Welcome to the Elders Wisdom Circle. My name is Eddie Okela, and today on the show we are saying the world reveals itself to those who walk on foot. Are you one of those people who walk on foot? Do you pedal on foot every single day? Do you see the world as it reveals itself to you? Can you see the truth that the world reveals to you while you're walking on foot by the roadside? Can you explore and learn the meaning of things that reveal themselves to you? Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today is the third-born son of the former president of the Republic of Uganda, Idi Amin Dada, aka the Secret Box, aka the wisdom of the secret of Amin himself. Welcoming Jaffa Remo Amin to the show, dressed in a new outfit today, freshly made. Jaffa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. it's a Sam and Andre of Ivory Coast.
Wow.
Because we're elephants, you'd rather go to the nation of the elephants, the Cote d'Ivoire.
So this is from Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, Sam.
Welcome to the show. And would you explain yourself? Why are you dressed very smartly today? Moreover, on a new outfit.
I'm a cultural activist, and we're in the midst of online Poate, Pearl of Africa, where there's a celebration festival.
Okay.
I originally coined the word Kujaguza. Somebody went for acronyms. Ugandans with their obsession with acronyms. An idea gets lost in acronyms. Just use a single word, Endaba. Or Kujaguza.
Yes.
A celebration
of things.
But they insist on their technicalities.
Yes, but you see, I have another question, because most times we tend to make things complicated. We like summary. In Uganda, we like summary. I don't know if Africa we like summary, but specifically in Uganda, we like summary. Give me the summary only. I just want the summary of everything that has happened. And because of that, our nature of asking for summaries, the world always summarizes everything they need from us and take from us.
In acronyms.
In acronyms. Because we never look at things from a bigger point of view. That, by the way, brings us to the first part of the show, Jaffa. This topic, the world reveals itself to those who walk on the foot.
Yeah.
Or on foot.
Explore
What's
and
your
learn.
making?
I added an impetus there of explore and learn. When I came to Uganda, I was an out-and-out British. I spoke with a clipped accent, and everything looked very strange to me. But when I decided to move around, you get to know the ways of life and the way people move. And it's not the situation I received when I was in '84, going to London and actually slowing down crowds, and people were passing me and looking back, he must be African. There were comments, but they were time conscious, and they had a schedule, and they had to meet their schedule. But in Africa, I went back, I ironically reverted back to the old African way of walking. And when you move around by foot, you get to meet the most unexpected gems in this world of ours. And sometimes you meet really honorable people doing the very same thing. It's not a political walk to work, BCG thing. It is you getting in touch with nature. You getting it, and in reverse, you get in touch with yourself.
Okay. So we have often seen people walk in the, we've often seen people walk on the road. Africans walking on the road, whether in Nigeria or whatever, we are walking, and then we are talking to ourselves. And then sometimes we're mistaken to be mad people. Sometimes they say, I think he's gone cuckoo, it's not okay. Huyo jamaa amepotea kichwa. You know, huyo jamaa amepotea, you know, we say so many things. But you are actually interacting with nature. You are seeing what is going on. Somebody has thrown a bottle of water while you're walking and almost hit your head off the car, and you're like, right, is this the best thing? Is that what you're referring to as the world revealed self?
No, for me, my revelation
to those
is
who walk on foot?
you're listening to the conversations. They're beautiful conversations as you move.
Okay.
It could be, you're going to bring me this thing from the shop. The next discussion could be, a discussion about somebody coming early in the morning, but was not there at night, did not sleep at home. There are several discussions as you move along. When you get to the really loud areas, there's the buzz of people setting up in the market. I found there's a soothing way where the nature is revealing itself to you and people's everyday living. And it's almost like what you people do with your yoga or whatever. Sometimes people need the sound of the stream to calm them down. You're getting in touch with nature in that way. So whether it is the buzz of a town or actually going into the village setup and it's the chickens doing their thing, the animals doing their thing, it's you realigning. Even you get to a point where you're actually listening to the bee just jumping from one flower to another. It's you realigning yourself with nature.
Wow. That's it, Jaffa. Explore and learn is coming from the position of the way we look into what happened to us in the world. The people we trust, but then we lose our trust to them because they have not been honest. The people we throw ourselves to, we confide in them, and we are lost. Give us the ability to think forward. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever been disappointed? And if yes, how did you think back in exploring and learning from that mistake?
For me, disappointment comes every day. It's in Nubian we have a saying, 2 funerals has actually made a hard time for a dog. A dog can come to a funeral expecting food and it's not ready, it goes to the next funeral, finds the food is not ready, then it comes. When it comes back to the previous one, the food is finished, and then it goes back to the other one in anticipation of it having something, and it finds the food is finished. So we say, Karama tineni geleb Kelly. Kelly is the dog. Karama is the funeral.
Yes.
So 2 funerals. So we as human beings, if you have set your target on one objective, fulfill it. But quite often we are
moving.
Another way of saying it is, I always say, because I find very clever people, especially amongst millennials and our generation Z.
Yes.
If you're going to hunt a buffalo, I know there are 15,000 of them in Kidepo, but aim at one. But they'll start moving.
Aiming at all of them because they want to shoot all of them and grab all of them at the same time.
There are 15,000 buffaloes.
Yes. And so, they don't understand why Elder says aim at one first.
It's the whole essence of priority.
Yeah.
Remember our previous meeting?
Yes.
Prioritizing what you want to do.
Yeah.
For example, now I have learned that it's not about me pleasing the world, but it is me satisfying the needs of family. And that's not a selfish or nepotistic approach. It is you prioritizing the essence of charity begins at home.
Yeah. Wow. And that's a wisdom right there on the Elders Wisdom Circle. When we say charity begins from home, we are looking at
your nuclear family.
Yes.
Wife and children.
Yes.
It's not being selfish like the British or the Kenyans who are famous for doubting your greeting in the morning.
But you see,
But it is you taking pride in providing for the ones who matter the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jaffa, that is question number 2. So the wisdom there, if you would give us in that context, what's the wisdom we pick from there? From the funeral of the dog and to this.
Prioritize everything and being objective with what you want to do in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what is coming from the elders today.
Yeah, because we often are disappointed and we often disappoint others.
Okay. But the young people of today are saying the elders are not giving them the space to think. And so the young people are wondering, you are saying that the world belongs to me, I'm the future of the world, but you're not giving me the time to think. You're not even showing me that this future belongs to me. You are still stuck in that place.
Yeah, but
and
it's
Dad, you are not moving and you're telling me I'm the one going to inherit this business. Perhaps that has not been able to prepare them to go forward. What would be your best advice to the young when the elders are not moving? You know those village roads where you'll be walking in African roads and then you meet an elder, and so the elder doesn't give you space. The youngs are meant to step aside.
Always, it's them who have lost.
Yes.
But remember my first show with you, I explained the essence of the Kadogos. In 86, people walked in here and they were 12 years old, but they've wielded their guns. And they'd been taught, it's an ideology, by the way, that was instilled in them, that they supersede the elders. Yeah, so they've learned that these are not of use to us. By the way, there's a whole lot of people breaking wonderful houses that could be preserved in the interest of modernity. So the children have learned that. But it showed its face on the Victory Day of 1986, where Kadogo, who was wielding power, walked into Kampala. And can you imagine that 12-year-old today, plus 35 years or 40 years onto that? They are my age mates. Yeah, and
52.
They're on the precipice of old age, of being elders. Their children have learned a sickening sense of selfishness, or it's my turn. Remember my statement of somebody telling an old man, Tata Rachitofa, Dad, why don't you die? People have the audacity to say that. Of course, it shocks communities, but everyone is saying it in all social media. You hear statements like, this should not have happened in Tanzania, it should have happened here. It's almost satanic to say so, but people are expressing their angst in that sense. So I'm answering you that people need us to move on. Even me, who's a Mzee Kijana, is being lumped in the same thing as the person who
kutembea pole pole.
You almost said the crazy one.
Unataka kutembea pole pole.
Swahili is an issue.
Well, we needed to break some heights on the show.
You see, our theme today is walking. I learned the hard way. I went and climbed Kilimanjaro, and I was thinking I should really walk quickly. But quickly a guide would come in front of me and actually block my movement. And you're looking up, he was a giant. He was actually taller than me. He was called Yahoo. And then he would just look behind and go, pole, pole. Is what you were trying to say. You don't have to say the tembea. You just go straight into the action. Pole. Then I would put on the brakes, you know, go back to gear number 2, the engine gear, and I would follow Yahoo. And that was the only way I would get up to the top of the mountain. And we kept seeing very disappointed Caucasians coming down, young, all of them crying, because at some point their body could not, it gave up. Just because of altitude sickness, their body gave up on them, because for them they were walking too fast. And it's like me, I came from the hectic movements of England back to Kampala, and it's like Yahoo came, and for me, he was a giraffe, I'm an elephant. He sort of slowed me down.
Yeah.
Pole.
Sasa tunasema pole pole, kijana, watu wote, kijana wa Afrika, pole pole.
Wa vijana.
Yes,
please.
Yes, that you young people learn from the elders and go slow.
Take it nice and slow.
Take it nicely. Don't be in a
But
hurry.
it's their time.
Yes. No, it's
There's
their
no denying.
time.
It's
It's
no
their
denying.
time, but the wisdom we're talking about today is that the world belongs to, and the world reveals itself to those who walk on foot.
Yeah.
So it's
You're
only when
not in a Mercedes, huh?
Yes. It's only when you're walking on foot that you begin to hear certain words speak
Thank
to
you.
you.
Remember
What
the
if-
neighbor.
Yeah. What
The
if-
next.
Yes.
The
even
next
in-
block.
Yes. Even in your head, you'll be hearing. What if you are coming from a meeting where they told you, you know, the problem with you are good for nothing.
Yeah, somebody has undermined you, and he's my age
you are
mate.
good for nothing.
I've probably succeeded.
Yes.
I look like I'm succeeding.
Yes.
But I always have to put the rest down.
Yes.
There's too much of that.
And
Parents
you know-
even say, you're supposed to be not hard. Eh?
Yes.
Shut up. There's a lot of shutting up
Yes,
in
because
society.
the parents have also had a big disappointment in their life.
Yeah.
They are dealing with a lot of things in their life. But the young needs to understand that my parents or the old are dealing with so many things. There could be steps they have missed in life. There could be some things they didn't do very well. They long so much to build a house. They have not built a house they desired when in their early 50s, in their early 20s, in their early 30s, in their 40s. They are now in 50s, they're in 60s. And they are struggling to find a place in their
They've
heart
not
to forgive
succeeded.
themselves.
And they've not succeeded.
And they have not succeeded.
They're on the rat race.
Yes.
You remember that hamster that moves around in a cage that is just swiveling in one motion?
Exactly.
Huh?
So the young needs to understand that while the old has told you, pole pole, umwana wange, tembea pole pole, go slow,
Yeah.
you are going too fast, you're overriding your steps,
Yeah.
you will miss,
Or burnout.
you burn out. That's what you're saying, that when you're moving, Yahoo told you.
He just came. He just
Pole,
understood.
pole, yes.
My brain had suddenly told me, no, let me get to the next camp.
Quickly. So sometimes it's not about the speed. Being the fast, being the
It's a
fast or being an
marathon.
inventor doesn't mean that you're always going to
You remember when you were having a sweet conversation with Onongom? Huh?
Yes.
And I was like, I immediately said, Eddie is a marathoner, Ongom is a sprinter.
Ochom.
Ochom, yeah.
Yes.
Ochom is a sprinter.
Yes.
I realized by the shortcuts he wanted the
Yes.
discussion to go through,
Yes.
but you wanted the discussion, the explanation
Because
to
I
come
have
through.
been there.
That's the point.
And I have
Experience
seen
transfer.
that.
Experience transfer.
Exactly. So I've been there, I've seen that even if I go fast, the process is very simple. It's going to bring me back here.
Yeah. And
So
for
I want
me,
to save him from disappointments before he
that
gets
is
there.
it. Now, for example, with
Yes.
me,
Yeah.
my experience transfer is simply, for all the pitfalls I've gone through, I'm going to tell it to the next person. I'm going to bequeath, my favorite word.
Yeah.
I'm going to bequeath it to the next
Yeah.
generation
Yeah.
so that they do not fall into the same rut.
Yes.
You know horses? Horses used to cut up sand. People who go to Kidepo don't realize how mushy the soil is. When it rains, even the best cars just
Well, we experienced that when we
eh.
went to Kapchora, the whole of that area over the weekend. We were trying really difficult to move, so it was the skill
with
of
which
driving,
to do it. Yeah.
And so we kept making a jokes with our friend. We were saying that Dawudi is driving a 4x4, but the car is doing like this. And
you start going like so because you're going too fast. Without defensive driving,
so
you should actually slow down and the grip comes.
And then also
The
less
grip.
power.
That's
you
it.
know,
That's
play
it.
With
That is it.
Yes.
But the ones who try,
Faster, yes, it always
they
goes.
split.
So that's what we're saying. The world reveals itself to those who walk on foot. So when you are coming, young man, young lady, and they said you are useless, they said you are running, faster than your time. I want you to slow down.
and
think
listen.
about
Start
why
listening.
did they say this to me?
Why was
what
it?
have I said wrong?
Why did it become an
Why
insult?
did it become an insult to me?
Rather than an advice?
Yes, to think through.
Oh, for us, we're quick. With Africans, we're quick to insult.
Yes.
Do you realize that our politics is not a debate, it's insult?
Yes, against.
The first person to insult the most wins.
Yes.
It's supposed to show cleverness. Yet debates are supposed to be you giving your side, I give my side, and we come to a middle ground where we get to understand each other's needs.
And just before we go for a break, Jaffa, it's actually a point of saying the debate you talked about, the point you brought here, is that the world has already revealed yourself, that the person you're sitting with and talking to
has been through it.
Has been through it.
Been there, seen
there, done that, or has been beaten
by it.
Yes,
so
and
he's
want to
cynical.
prove a point,
That's cynical.
Yes.
Cynicism is with us.
Yeah. And
it defines Uganda.
Exactly.
Right now.
So you need to be careful how you respond to that person by thinking through this process before it actually revealed.
Yeah, it will smack you in the face.
A guy on the foot walking on the roadside,
it will
and you
smack
hear the child that now one hour good one accident good day. Where were you? The cars already accidents happened. If you are here, we would have stopped the accident.
That is it.
Well, that's what we're talking about here. While you walk on foot in Africa, think, because the world
it reveals it.
Yes, and so explore the moments that come on the road
and learn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going for a break, and Elders Wisdom Circle will be right back after the break. Jaffa Remo Amin, Eddie Okello, talking about the world revealing itself to those who walk on foot. Explore and learn, or else the world will cook for you portion, and you'll eat the dirty dust. At the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes. Welcome back to the Elders Wisdom Circle. My name is Eddie Okello, and we are talking about the world revealing itself to those who walk on foot. Have you ever been in that situation when everything else is falling apart? When they have told you you amount to nothing? When everywhere you turn to, people don't give you respect? When every step you make is just hell on earth? And you're wondering, but God, why me? Have you been in that spot? I have been there. And of course, Jafar Remo Amin has been in the same spot, or have been in the same spot as well, and have tested the waters.
Since
54 years.
Since 1979.
And talking about 30-something years only.
But I'm saying I've been in that spot since 1979.
Yes.
When you move from First Son to Ordinary,
yes, and walking on the
everyday people. No,
yeah. But
walking is
because they see you that you're walking, and then says,
yeah, but you see,
sometimes we mix the feelings. We don't know that you're walking for fitness, health and fitness.
It's not even about
and
that.
Health,
Life,
you just want to clear your mind.
I know.
Yeah.
I explained to you a very important thing. We are in the midst of politics of humiliation.
Yeah.
It started with the Kawaka, and it's in a continuum. It is a process. It's Machiavellian, and it is a due process. Today I was looking at Soyuz jets flying over. It could be a celebration or a threat. How you use the Soyuz jet is up to you. But what message is it sending to your populace? Is it a celebration or kujaguza or a threat? Do you get me? I was taking some sweet pictures with my son, then suddenly my son went, wow. And I was still taking pictures and he said, there are 3. But I was listening to the Soyuz jets crossing over, and it's been but for me it reminds me of war.
Because
my father would, well, my father would place 30 supersonic jets in the air. Today I'm seeing 6 or 3 of them. I'm just trying to say, from 79, we started a journey of 1,000 miles.
So to
everybody
you,
goes through it.
So to you, walking on the foot and seeing that and hearing that reminds you of your day.
Of course. Now, I am as old as the humiliation of Buganda and their amazing lamenters from 1966. For them, their world stopped in 1966. I am as old as the day my father took the tanks and attacked Lubidi. Are you understanding?
So, but we also know that...
But you see, I'm trying to explain that Jafar walking, whether somebody laughs or takes it in, for me it goes back to 66 when I was born.
Okay.
The politics of humiliation.
But the politics of humiliation you're talking about, and the wisdom that we pick from that, I was talking to a man walking on the roadside, confused, and saying, look, I don't even know which one is the truth now. What we were told from the old and the past and what we're being told today are totally very different. But then I remember the lesson a white man gave to me, a very old white man in the gym, and he says, my son, and in my mind I was, my son, you're white and black, why would you call me your son? We don't make sleep black, can't you see? Then he says, no, you see, that's the problem with you guys. You are not thinking right, that when I refer to you as my son, you don't have to be biologically belonging to me. But you need to know that I have seen more things in life than you have seen in your own life. I probably have more information about your own country and about what happened in your own country than you do. So I live in Jinja by the source of the Nile. I can tell you the history of your country more than you can tell to me. And I want to tell you that you need to listen and change your perspective. So I moved from being a rebellious young man in the gym, working with a white man, to a reflective person. And by the time he was done with his statement, I was like, but what if I was just being rude because somebody else told me something?
Yeah, remember we learned. Yeah, we learned from
our parents.
And
I never explored to learn more. Which is why we're saying the world revealed itself to those who walk on foot.
Let me give you a perfect example. I got off a taxi. I got off a taxi at Walusimbis. That's my favorite spot. Then I moved towards the wall of Kingdom. which was Shimoni. Shimoni Primary. I was busy admiring the new building, and in my mind I had already got advance notice that by 2023 a state-of-the-art hotel is also going to be built in the same place. So I already had that in my plan. I've always seen some drawings of it, and I was busy admiring. Then a gentleman came down and he was looking at the same thing, and he was talking to himself, and he simply said, they are busy in Uganda, they're busy stealing everything. Then he looked at me with suspicion and walked past. Now I contrasted what I was thinking of the vision of the nice place with what this man came into my mind with his open statement of what he was seeing. He was not seeing development, he was seeing outright theft. Because for him, the original setup was an amazing demonstration school called Shimoni.
And probably went through that same school.
He must have been an OB.
Yes.
Same age, we were same age mates. Two ships passing each other. My mindset, based on a real Mangadet who told me yesterday, 2023, I'm saying within the same vicinity, yes, and I corrected him. There was supposed to be 6 of the same building that we have present. I said, yeah, but they're going to build the best hotel in Africa at the same par as Dubai. But this man hammered me a real slap in the face. And he moves.
So you see, I don't know whether you
God entered, the man entered my thoughts at that very moment.
Yeah, but you see the lesson there which I want to draw back, you know, from that moment I had with the white man. And that moment when I had with the white man in the gym, and when he said that, I took a moment to think. You see, obviously I had not thought about the whole thing, the story told to me and the way it's told. But yet, if I had taken time to think about some of these things and actually explore to learn, I would get something. So I decided to engage with the old man from the point of, I'm not your father, I'm not your son, don't call me your son. And then I wanted to learn more from him. And then he said, you see, Amin never attacked Mengo. It is we, the Brits, who sent him because he was our puppet. Because we feared that if the Kabaka and Obote remained together, Uganda would become ungovernable. So we just triggered Amin because he had revenge in him.
No. I wish to correct you.
Yes, just hold on. He said he had revenge in him. So I said, what do you mean he had revenge in him? Revenge with who? Mengo, who he does? Then he said, no. We knew the point to trigger because we trained some of them. So he had revenge that when he was cooking for us, they looked down on him as a cook. So when he became powerful and rose to the rank, and he saw that when he pointed the gun like this with a sapsuta, as they call it, so then he asked himself, so what was the difference between me, Amin, who was cooking, and the white man who was holding the gun? I was still on the better shooting. So sending him there revenge was not about Mengo, whatever, according to the white man. It was about Amin revenging that, okay, I'll go to take this order because this order here proves to them that I am sharp. So, but, Jaffa, it's not the point that I wanted to learn, the point that I want to refer to. It is now me beginning to ask the question. So 1996 happened, like you refer to. 1969. 66 happened. So who did what to Mengo? Who took the order?
Yeah, but
then I start to think now.
But you see, your statement is not so much a white man's. Yeah. That is the statement that comes from the UPC. Yeah, I'm trying to explain it this way. With my father, he was in a meeting where he was supposed to surround the whole thing, but he chose to give them a leeway for escape. And that actually is the beginning of his downfall in the eyes of Obote. Amin was a darling up to that moment of a perceived failure to apprehend the monarch. Yeah? So it was not so much the Brits saying, send him there as a trigger, to shoot and prove his worth. It was actually him undermining an order to totally surround the place.
But now, Jeff, it brings us to this point. The world revealed itself to those who walk on foot, explore and learn. That moment you are walking around Chimoni, you are seeing a beautiful thing because the
No, I mean the no. I mean the no about the development.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So for me, I'm seeing development.
Yes.
He is seeing my
Yes.
school
Yes.
as part of an oligarchy of ravenous greed that is taking away
Yeah. So he's
from
seeing
society.
theft. Yes, that's what
Yeah,
he's saying.
taking from
There's outright
society.
theft. Now the question there comes in. Both of you are walking on foot. He needs to explore to learn where it is coming from, who is stealing and how. But that word, when it translates to many people on the feet, on the street rather, and walking on foot, we all will begin to think that that is it. But who is stealing? Who are these people? What are they stealing? What if it is the situation where Mengo de Kabaka is exiled to Britain, and then he lives the most miserable life in Britain, and then nobody ever asks questions? Okay, what happened? Wherewith the wisdom to ask questions. Maybe we'll have explored something there. But yet Amin remains soiled, Obote remains soiled, and the history doesn't give us the understanding. So we, the young people, will continue to walk, just blaming here and blaming here. We don't.
That's what we
where the
call
truth is.
the politics of humiliation.
Yes.
I'm saying we are in the midst of it. Since I was born, brother, 1966. I've answered you there.
So how do we explore to learn more and go forward?
I
The
hope-
words on the foot is that. The world has revealed itself to us and the reality of what you are saying. So how do we learn to move forward? That's point number 2. on the head of
everyone listening to each other's side of the story.
Yeah.
You pointed out something that claimed to be white, but it sounded very UPC. Huh?
But he's an old man who told me this in South
I
Africa in the
understand.
gym.
Yes, I know, but it's the UPC narrative. Everything is a narrative. Yeah. Until I tell you, no, Mzee did not circle them, and it caused him problems with the father of the nation. He did not fulfill the notion of him being a hatchet man. Huh? Oh, you saying a puppet.
Yeah.
But the word we Pan-Africanists use is stooge. But he never was. Because he made his decision at that moment, I'm not going to spill the blood of the monarch. Here's a leeway, out you go. Whether they claim heroics of escape, that is their problem. His blood is not on my hand. A Pontius Pilate. That was a Pontius Pilate moment. But him washing his hands at that moment made him a mortal enemy of Akena Doho and Oito Joke, the new Turk, who was supposed to replace this old guard called Idi Amin. But they realize he's cleverer than he looks.
So the question here, Jaffa, is that we need a wisdom to pick from here. The world reveals itself to those who walk on foot.
When are we going to stop
Explore
the
the
politics of humiliation?
Yes.
When the young will answer us.
But how does the young answer us when
They are
the elders
loving.
themselves are still
No, it
confused?
has nothing to do with them. They're inheriting angst. You remember?
So you're saying that the ones who are coming are inheriting. Okay.
We have inherited angst.
Okay.
We hate
Your
without
generation.
reason.
Yes, okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
But it has permeated you also, the millennials. Just know Abenguru. They're like that.
Because nobody ever mentored us, we're looking for words on the streets and we're trying to explore on the streets, but we're not getting
They
it.
are
So therefore we're
loving.
confused.
I told you, these people, your generation, and the generation G, share.
Because we believe that giving is good.
No, it is godly. It's in the books that we have forgotten about.
Okay.
We have crammers, we have learners. Today it's about learning. But the ones who cram don't actually know what is in the book. Have you seen the new MD that comes For example, England sends us all their unemployment people who have been there beyond 5 years. Then they get the top job in the UN, and you're forced to resign because you're sick and tired of chaperoning somebody who has nothing to do with the post that they've been posted in, and they're being paid $10,000. There's situations where I'm sick and tired of babysitting this fool who's an unemployed, who was just part of an unemployment statistic in the EU. They're the ones who end up with us. And they're the same type of character like you're a South African who actually blasted you like a missionary and you swallowed whole.
I still remain lost because we do not know.
You feel that Muzungu is right all the time.
No, I had to slow down my brain.
It is us being conditioned.
No, I had to stop to think because
as a Pan-Africanist,
the elders are not giving me this. So I want to know right now, how do we pick the brains from the elders? At what point
you've already taught us the way. The word thinking out of the box is very much a millennial thing. It's very much a Generation Z. They come out with solutions that are wonderful, that are godly, that are wholesome, that shares and shares and shares. For me, I answered you a long time ago.
Ladies and
you
gentlemen,
guys are the future, you are the solution. And you talking amongst yourselves scares the living daylights out of the traditionalists. And the baby boomers are confused because they feel threatened. Yeah. And then what's my generation? I'm a Generation X. By the way, we lost a man, Rough Riders. We lost one of our commanders.
Yes.
Yes. DMX.
Yes.
But Generation X should have stopped partying a long time ago because that's what defined us. Forget the hippies who are baby boomers, but the Generation X were in such a party mood and they forgot that they had to earn a living.
So now the world is revealing itself to you
because you forgot that you had to earn a living. You were busy partying.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Elders Wisdom Circle. This is why we say have a meaningful conversation with the elders. Talk to the old. The old will always give you something you don't know. They will help you to challenge your thinking and open up the governance of your brain to begin to think in a manner in which you can understand things, put perspective into place, attitude, perception will change.
And avoid pitfalls.
Yes.
Avoiding pitfalls.
The pitfalls, you're talking in very good English.
Yeah. Pitfalls are those of Ituri. We are on the most expensive location estate in Kampala. Yeah. But it's almost like Honorable Nasasira is still in power.
Are you explaining the potholes in
pitfalls? So all our pitfalls are everything that was bequeathed to us by Nasasira. Yeah. You don't need to put grade 1. Just put grade 4. What's wrong with you? We have other issues, and where are we going to use our money? I did not go to school just for you to come and insult me like this. Just do grade 4. You don't listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man has gone cuckoos.
I'm trying to explain somebody who's in power but doesn't care.
Yeah.
And it's at a line ministry level, people.
Yes, yes.
Line ministry. Somebody feels he has the wherewithal to decide grade 4.
Yeah.
But the World Bank document is telling you first grade road, which is $1 million shillings per kilometer.
Yes.
$1 billion, forgive me, correction. $1 billion shillings per kilometer. So we should use $1 billion. Just put 300 million here. Just the maram with the roller, and then you put the bitumen, and we go. Konkamurova. We have a 60% that we need to save. I'm explaining what you listen. You've never sat and passed people walking on the road.
No.
This is wrong. This is a supervisor talking, and it's orders that permeated from the
and
line.
we're hearing while we are walking.
That's the whole point. There's always a supervisor.
There's
that supervisor who came, Johnny come lately, and is as boastful as Bianyima Oba.
So we're talking about the world is revealing itself to those who
not shortcuts, but shortcuts. They're taking shots and shots at life itself.
If you get it, because we are saying the world reveals itself to those who walk on foot.
My God.
Those things you hear when they are fixing the roads, the guys are actually
the supervisor is enacting exactly what the line minister says.
Yes.
It permeates. It trickle. It's a trickle down effect. Collapsion.
This show is over today, and we're saying that the world, that topic, put it up there for people to see. The world reveals itself to those who walk on foot. I hope you understand that every day secrets are around you. Things are revealed around you. But what are you saying? Explore and learn. Then you become smarter and don't become angrier on people or try to be, a snitch.
Or smarter. Some people actually get angry for being told that. I've had this several times. A sweet girl with a blacker belly, about to be hit by a car, and I'm like, hey! She looks at you with I know. Every person who tells you I know does not. Every time somebody answers you, I know, they don't know zilch. But she was about to have a massive collision with a 40-footer coming from Luzira. But she'll tell you, the person, the saving angel, I know, with tears in the eyes. I'm like, welcome, it's your funeral. That's when they actually stop, huh?
Yes.
Because they suddenly realize there's a 40-footer right there. Becoming a real elephant like me. The elephants of the road are those Mercedes-Benzes that my father introduced, you know? They're actresses today. But that girl was busy on a proggy. She was probably going to a sauna. It's just like the sirens. I always jokingly say every siren you hear at 6 has nothing to do with emergency. Those officials are heading for their sauna and whatever. Self-importance. Mistaken sense of entitlement. That's what's revealed to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will have to bring this show to an end. And I hope you understand it. Jeff and I, we have come to the end of the day with the show. My name is Eddie Okela, and of course we're talking about the world reveal itself to those who walk on foot. Please explore and learn. There are things you're looking for are always around and about, like science.
Out and about.
Please, yes.
Out and about. It's a British word.
Yes.
Out and about.
Yes. But we're saying they are around you like science. Science is not far from you. It's
nature
around you. Nature is within you. So please learn to listen to them and learn to explore. All right? And learn to be serious in life. Think about your life. Think about everything. The Elders Wisdom Circle has come to an end. Until next week, we will be saying goodbye. And please walk on the road with your ears on the ground and
explore and learn.
The learning.
Explore and learn.
Ladies and gentlemen, peace.
Welcome to this year's edition of Doa Doa 2021.
We have revived the King's Entenga music.
I started playing music when I was 9 years old in 1945, and up to today, I'm still learning it.
It was like the Psalms. When you look at David, he's passing through hard things, but then he's willing to talk about them. So music allowed me to be real, authentic. To God, he uses song to minister to me. So it was more, it's personal, I can relate to it, and he's helping me overcome through that, to be able to be used as that vessel that delivers this message, which I know that I've just borrowed from heaven. My music statement is to write music that will be able to speak to the heart, soul, and spirit. Restoring the goodness. You know, when in the Bible it says, and he looked at it and it was good. The message that I have, there are 10 songs. They will be specifically invoking that God has already said, that we have to embrace as his image, to restore goodness in this world. Music is not what defines you. For me, that was a great revelation, that my identity is more in God, in who God calls me. If I can inspire you also to use your gifts and talents to make a difference, I would have played my part in this world.
I will rise and rise. Now is the time. Rise and praise you, Lord.
coffee plants take a year to start giving you the beans.
Yeah.
And then you have to find yourself, like if they have taken a year to bring your beans on the plant, you're going to take other 4 or 6 months before they start being green.
Okay.
So like a year and a half before you start harvesting your coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's so crucial to harvest those ready cherries.
Okay.
Because those are the good quality beans or coffee cherries that we need, that will make this cup of coffee that we're having here.
And another thing, is there like a particular season that I have to plant my coffee beans in, or I can just wake up one day and be like, you know what, I want to plant coffee today?
Well, why do you think that we have less coffee farming in Central Region?
I have no idea.
Because look, the lands, like you
Yes.
talked about during the introduction of the soil, the soils determine how your coffee is going to come out.
True.
So a farmer will determine the area I am in. For example, you find Elgon region, it's always cloudy, it's always rainy, you know, that's why you have a lot of landslides there.
Yeah, true.
Because a lot of rains are there.
There's rain.
You find the Rwenzori region, same place. So that's why we're having a lot of coffee coming from different places in these areas. Elgon region, Rwenzori region, because you can't tell that sun is going to be at this time, or it's going to be a bit hot in this area.
Uganda's weather is sometimes
it's
unpredictable.
Like rainy, every year out in and out. So you can't grow coffee in a hot area because you can't have a season. But for the farmers, they know this season it's going to be hot for like 2 months. So the next season it's going to be hot like for 6 months or 7 months. So they will use that opportunity to grow coffee from the 3rd month to maybe the 7th month, so that these other 2 months that are going to come in, they won't affect these 2 months that are very hot. So they know how they do their things in the farm and understand each period or each season better on how to grow coffee. And one good thing about coffee is the moment you have your coffee plant come up and it's well good looking, it's giving you those green cherries, it's giving you red cherries to harvest. I mean, it's just a matter of like pruning, cutting it off, like shaping it well, and it will give you
a good yield.
Yeah, like to yield again, not like cutting it down forever and plant another one.
So it regrows.
Yeah, it regrows. It regrows. So you can have like 4 harvests.
From just one planting?
Yeah, from one planting. Before you decide like, let me remove this coffee tree and plant another one. So that's one good thing about coffee.
So now we've got the farmer's part. Let's say, you know, I've taken my 6 months, 4 months or 1 year. My coffee beans are out. Okay, now what is the next, what's the next thing in the chain? Because now the chain has to go down to the final consumer. Okay, so after the farmers have done their part, okay, what next? Okay, how do we, from harvesting these coffee beans, okay, do we take them to such an industry, or do we take them under, you know, drying under the sun? What happens between the farmers and the final product?
Well, one thing is, you've heard about the term coffee chain.
Yeah.
A coffee chain is that whole process of growing coffee. Let me use the term a coffee to tree cup, tree to cup.
Tree to cup.
Yeah, tree to cup process. You grow coffee from the farm, but it ends up in a cup somewhere. But you don't know how it ended there. You're just having your cup of coffee, drinking it.
True.
So your question is, what is next after farming? So farmers do their role of growing coffee, looking after coffee. But there are also the buyers that buy this coffee from the farmers. So that's where we're going to have the bad buyers, the good buyers, the ones that kuchupula, the farmers, you know. But as you're buying this coffee, the graders, like within these buyers, they grade coffee, how good it is from the farm. So after them buying the coffee, that's how they bring it to the market.
Okay.
So if they buy the coffee maybe from the Rwenzori region and bring it to Kampala right here, I'll also buy that coffee from them at a different price, depending on how you negotiate. So after buying this coffee, I'll have to
decide on how to use it.
Okay.
Am I going to roast it and brew it to have this cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to use this these beans.
Yeah.
Already, they call them green, but they're not green in color after harvesting. But they're called green beans because they haven't been roasted or they haven't been processed.
Yeah.
So am I going to use these green beans to use them as a decor or use them as a scrubbing material? Because
can use them for scrubbing?
Yeah, coffee can be used to make very many things.
Okay.
So it depends from the buyer. How is he going to use this coffee?
Okay.
So if he's going to use it for making beverages like these ones, he's going to go to a roaster. From a roaster, when they have roasted that coffee, is going to go to the capper.
Yeah.
Because you have to cup that coffee to see how is it scoring. Is it going to be a good cup of coffee because you're roasting it because you want to drink it?
Yeah.
Because you can't drink unroasted coffee.
True.
It's like taking, I don't know if some of you have taken the chigaji. Like it's chimemeruka, I don't know that word in English.
So we'll get a subtitle.
Yeah, so like if you've roasted that coffee, it's easier for you to pound it or grind it and make a beverage from it.
Okay.
So after roasting it, you cup it to see how is it going to score. How is my cup of coffee going to taste, you know? So after cupping it, that's how you get to the brewing process.
Okay.
But also the brewing process, after brewing it, there are a lot of things you can use to get benefits from these coffee residues that you've brewed coffee from.
Okay.
Because you can use them as fertilizers, so it goes back to the farmer.
Yeah.
So you see, that's how the coffee
like
chain.
A cycle that goes
it's
back.
a very big cycle
right.
comes around with coffee.
Okay.
So that's the process.
So you said coffee is not only drunk; it can be used for other things.
Yeah.
For example, you said for cleaning. So apart from drinking and cleaning, what are the other uses we can have for coffee? Because I believe that also provides a bigger market for the person growing it, for the farmer. Okay, if I cannot only send it to the baristas and the roasters, but I can also sell it to other industries that are doing different things. So what are those other different things that we can do with coffee?
Well, coffee, one thing is you can use it for decor because it's classy, it's well looking. I mean, if you have your bucket of coffee here and there are those green beans, someone comes and like they're touching them, that's decor already. That's one use. The second, we've been talking about the health benefits of coffee here in the show. So most of you know the health benefits. It has health benefits. The third is the coffee husks after grinding them. I mean, after milling them or pulping them, there are those coffee husks that come after getting the coffee bean or that ground bean. One, it can be used as poultry feeds, just like the way you can see growing maize grain. Husks. They can be mashed and
for the poultry.
For the poultry. Same applies to the coffee. Third, you can use or you can keep those coffee pulped residues or cherries to manure up and use them as manure. So you see how you're getting it's like recycling a bottle and you use it again over and over without like throwing away the products. And the other thing I talked about, scrubbing. You've gone to a salon or you've gone to a spa and they scrub you. So someone might decide to choose coffee scrub.
Oh, you can use coffee for the skin.
Yeah, for the skin, like because they're scrubbing you. So and remember, coffee has that solid after crushing it, there was that solid part that comes along with it. So they mix it very well, and then they use it for scrub. You want to go out there and you're smelling coffee. You're like, I've used coffee to scrub my face or scrub my body. So there are a lot of things that you can use coffee to do.
Okay, so
besides taking it as a beverage.
So that now brings us into the financial part of coffee. You know, now as a layman, you've told me all these things, and now I'm considering. I'm saying, you know what, this is what coffee can actually do for me. Okay, so I'm looking at a financial perspective. Now, what kind of advice would you give me, okay, a layman who wants to get into the coffee business, be it from the farming, be it being a grader, being a barista? What kind of advice would you give me?
Well, you talked about the advice already.
Yeah.
As we were starting the show, you said like giving birth to a child, but no one wants to talk about how the child is conceived.
Yeah, conceived, yes.
So to interpret this is, please, if you want to get into the coffee business, don't just wait for the coffee in a cup. No, go deep down to the farms, go deep down to the farmers, talk to them, get engaged, get to know your product as a coffee product. That's how you understand how best can you give out coffee products to the public or to the consumers. Because the moment you only want to have a coffee in a cup, or for example, you have a coffee shop, or you have a coffee business that's selling coffee or coffee equipment, you won't get to know the pain that the farmer goes through to make this coffee. So if it's asking for something like a basket or a pulping machine, you'll be like, you want to steal me, you know, like such things. But if you know the pain they go through, the hurdles they go through to get this cup of coffee here, then you understand the coffee chain, and it will be very much easier for you to invest in that business. So that's the advice I could give you.
So
get involved in the business.
A word out there for people who only wait for the coffee in the cup. When they tell you a cup of coffee is at this price, you should understand where the coffee actually came from. Okay, that is how you're going to appreciate the whole process. Don't just say, this coffee is too expensive, I can't do this. You should actually try and understand where the coffee comes from. So now that we have all these things in play, okay, I believe that with every industry, okay, there are certain hurdles, there are certain hardships that you go through. We talked about the first one, that was the pesticides, that really pulls down the quality of the coffee at the end of the day. So what are those other hurdles or those other obstacles that, you know, the people in the coffee chain will actually face?
Well, this whole conversation is all a bit about farmers, because you can say without a farmer we're not getting this cup of coffee. And without us, the consumers, the farmer won't do the coffee. Like
both sides
they need each other. But then the hurdles that farmers go through, one is ignorance. They do things that they're ignorant about. Like for example, if they're spraying that coffee plant, do they know why they're spraying it? Do they know the effect? But if they are educated or if they are sensitized about the effects, then they won't do.
They won't do that.
So it goes back to the advice that I would give the coffee person who wants to invest in the business. Try to invest into your farmers, or try to invest into your employees who are in the farms. Teach them, educate them. How best can they grow that coffee? Yes, I know they're the ones like taking place or doing everything in the farms, but they need this information.
They do need,
because they're ignorant. I mean, they're in the farms, they're in the villages. For you, you have information all over. You have smartphone, tablets.
Readily available.
You read. Most of our farmers, for the lack of a better word, they're illiterate.
That's very true.
That's very true, because they're only growing this coffee to get money to pay school fees for their children.
For their survival.
For their survival, basically. They don't mind about like the good quality of coffee. But if you want this good quality of coffee, invest in it. You get. So that's one challenge. They're ignorant. The second challenge is people who don't pay the value of farmers. For example, you devalue a farmer by buying a kilo of coffee at 500. What are you up to? I mean, so the farmer has invested into the coffee project from the bed seed to the main garden. He has looked after it for over a year and a half, and you just bring a kilo of coffee.
So how much would a kilo go for?
Well, there's a standard of coffee. I mean, UCDA put a standard of coffee pricing. It's around 1,500 a kilo. But you find a good coffee a good coffee business person is at least adding in value to a farmer. Maybe he's buying a kilo at 2,500 or 2,000. So that's already added value.
So the minimum you can pay is 1,500.
1,500. Of recent, I'm not sure. I was reading about it. They were saying it's now around 2,000 a kilo, but I haven't confirmed that. So we shall have to confirm that before we confirm. we bring it to the show. But I mean, if you value the works of a farmer, the farmer will be happy. Will put in a lot of energy, efforts to at least give you that cup, that good quality coffee from the farm. The third one is equipment. Like most farmers grow coffee, but they don't have equipment. You know, so if you have a pulping machine. You have raised beds, like after harvesting coffee. You have scissors for like pruning coffee. I mean, you're going to have a good quality of coffee. But if you businessman and you want to invest into this, please go down to the farms and give farmers these equipments, because that's how we're going to get good coffee on market in Uganda and worldwide.
Yeah, so with those, you know, the obstacles that you guys are facing, is there any organization, okay, be it an NGO or a government body that takes care of, you know, the coffee growers, okay, and how have they helped, or is it just big gamble? People just be talking of how they're going to help you.
Well, not to be stingy about information, UCDA, Uganda Coffee Development Authority, is all responsible for this. Like, you have to put into place policies that are going to help farmers, that are going to help coffee business people, that are going to help baristas, that are going to help cuppers, restaurants, various people in the coffee business. But UCDA, I've tried so much to read about them and follow their works. I mean, they're not doing enough, like, to put in place these policies that help farmers. Because now you'll find, like you said about NGOs, some NGOs come in, but they find a lot of challenges getting into this coffee business because of a lot of difficult policies that are put up by UCDA.
So you have,
for example, just imagine,
bureaucracy.
just imagine you wanted to venture into a coffee business. That would be hard for you because of the policies that are there. Here you have to pay this for the license, you have to pay this for here starting a coffee farm. There are a lot of things that are involved to get into the coffee business. So what they do, it's different private organizations like NGOs that start up like coffee farming groups to help these farmers. For example, let me use, it's not a mind, I work with Enduro Coffee, and it's not blowing my own trumpet, but Enduro Coffee has a farmers association. It's called Enduro Coffee Growers. So it has a coffee shop, the coffee shop business, but it's also like has that Enduro Growers kind of association. So the Enduro Growers is totally different from the Enduro Coffee shop, because Enduro Growers helps to nurture these farmers, you know, give them information, give them products that they're going to use, and this is how you're going to help farmers. You're giving them information how to better their crops, how to better their coffee farms. So I wish everybody could do this, then we could have the best coffee in the market.
That's very true.
And we would have less challenges with farmers.
Okay, our time is fast spent. We are almost coming to the end of the coffee break. But before we go, we have actually gone through the process of it starts from the farmer and ends up in a cup. We call that from tree to cup. Okay, now Uganda is predominantly a tea drinking nation. Okay, people drink tea. Okay, and it's a very hard thing to convert people from
tea to coffee.
Leave your tea and take coffee. There are a lot of myths that people have about coffee. I once heard that coffee helps you reduce weight. Then someone else said when you drink coffee, forget about sleep that day. It's gone. So what are some of the myths around coffee, and are they true? Okay, for me who wants to get into coffee, I need to know what am I getting myself into.
Well, good enough, you're also using the word mints, so which means you're not true. But I mean, like as a beverage with